morning, students. Let's see the next theory. That is third theory. We are going to discuss Lewis acid base theory. Okay. So before that, I would like to give one question regarding to Bronsted-Lowry acid base theory. Okay. So what is that question? Write conjugate acid and conjugate base for given species. Write conjugate acid and conjugate base for given species. Those species are here: H2O, B is ammonia, C is OH minus, and D is H2SO4, and E is HCO3 minus, and F is HSO4 minus, and H2O2. So now write conjugate acid and conjugate base for given species. Now write conjugate acid also, conjugate base for each component here. So now first write the species. What are the species he given? First one is H2O, second one is NH3, and third one is OH minus, and D is H2SO4. Am I right? G is HCO3 minus, and F is here HSO4 minus, G is H2O2. Is it clear? Now I would like to write conjugate acid and base for each component. So now it is conjugate acid and this one is conjugate base. Conjugate acid and conjugate base. Is it clear? So now first write conjugate acid. If you want to write conjugate acid of this component, add H plus to this component. Add H plus. Now what is the charge here? On the H2O molecule the charge is 0, am I right? H2O. Simply remember, for getting conjugate acid, add H plus to the compound. Add H plus. For getting conjugate base, remove H plus from the compound. Is it clear? Now H2O here. For getting conjugate acid, add 1 H plus. What is the charge? 0 here on the molecule. Now I would like to add 1 H plus. Here charge is 0, no charge. For this one, for 0 we have add H plus, am I right? For 0 charge we add plus 1. Okay. So now how many hydrogens here we have? 2. Add 1 H plus. That means it is now H3O. Am I right? What about charge? Already here it is 0. We add 1 plus 0 plus 1 means plus 1. H2O it is. Here the charge is 0. Now we add H plus, then it is H3O and 0 plus 1. Okay. Now would like to write conjugate base for this one. Now remove one H plus from this one. Here it is 0, remove one H plus. What are the ions present in water? In water it has H plus and OH minus, am I right? In water. Is it clear? Now remove H plus from this compound. Then what is the remaining one? OH minus, am I right? For getting conjugate base, remove H plus from the compound. Am I right? What is the remaining one? OH minus. Now H3O plus is the conjugate acid of H2O and OH minus is the conjugate base of H2O. Am I right? Now write for here. For conjugate acid, add H plus. What is the charge here? 0. Am I right? 0 charge. Now add H plus. Then what happened? NH4 plus. Am I right? Now remove H plus. Remove H plus means NH2. Am I right? Here totally we have 3 hydrogen atoms. Just we remove one hydrogen. Am I right? H plus we remove. One H plus is removed. Am I right? So we keep one minus. Keep one minus here. Am I right? If you remove H plus, keep minus. For this one, add H plus. What is the species here? It is OH minus. Am I right? Now we add H plus. What happened? OH minus H plus becomes clearly neutral or not? So that means it gives H2O. Am I right? For OH minus we add H plus. We add H plus. Minus and plus become 0 or not? 0. So now it is H2O. Now H2O is the conjugate acid of OH minus and remove OH H plus from this one. H plus. Already it has minus 1. When we remove H plus, instead of that we add one more minus. If you remove H plus, add minus. Okay. So now remove H plus, then what is the remaining one? O. Already it has minus. When we remove H plus, add one minus. Then minus plus minus 2. Am I right? Remove H plus from here for getting conjugate base. Okay, already it is minus. Okay. Now we remove H plus means we add one minus. So then it becomes O minus 2. Come to here H2SO4. So this compound is not exist actually. Just remove this. And here also. Okay. No. Come to here HCO3 minus. For HCO3 minus, would like to get conjugate acid and add H plus. H plus means already it is minus, already it is minus. Add one H plus. Add one H plus. Already here we have one hydrogen. Now how many hydrogens? H2CO3. Am I right? Here it is minus 1. We add plus 1. Minus 1 plus 1 how much? Cancel or not? Cancel. We add H plus. So plus 1 minus 1 0. So carbonic acid we call it is H2CO3. And come to for conjugate base, remove H plus remove. So then the remaining one is CO3 minus. So we remove H plus means keep one minus. Okay, already it has minus. Okay, when we remove H plus, keep one minus. So now minus plus minus 2. Am I right? Simply, if you want to remove H plus from the compound, if is there any minus already, keep one more minus. Suppose here it is minus 2. When we remove H plus, then it becomes minus 3. It is 0. Suppose when we remove H plus, now it becomes minus 1. Okay. So see here, it is 0. It is 0. When we remove H plus, then what happened? Minus 1. It is minus 1. It becomes minus 2. Suppose it is minus 2. It becomes minus 3 in conjugate base. Okay. Remember this. Next, come to here HSO4 minus. For HSO4 minus, add H plus. Already it is minus. Okay. When we add H plus, it is H2SO4. Am I right? Minus 1 plus 1. We add H plus minus 1. Already minus. Minus 1 plus 1 0. So now remove H plus. H plus means then what is the remain? SO4. It has minus 1 already. When we remove H plus, add one more minus. That means it is minus 2. Is it clear? And come to here. add H plus, already it is 0, you know, 0, no charge there. That means H3O2 plus 1, it is 0, am I right? 0. For 0 we add H plus 1 is added. So 0 plus 1 how much? 0 plus 1, that becomes plus 1 or not? Plus 1 charge. So now we add one hydrogen means already it is H2, H3O2 plus 1. Now remove one H plus from here, there is no charge here. So that means from HO2 keep minus 1, am I right? Why? Because it is 0. When we remove H plus, add 1 minus, already it is 0. That means we add minus 1. Is it clear? Simple. In conjugate base, when we remove H plus, we add minus. Here it is 0. Now remove H plus, that means we add 1 minus. It is minus 1, already we remove H plus, we add 1 minus, that means minus 1 plus minus 1, minus 2. Is it clear? So conjugate acids and conjugate base of these compounds are this one. Is it clear, ma'am, all of you? For H2O, add H plus, then it becomes H3O plus 1. For conjugate base, we remove H plus. Remove H plus means to maintain the charges, we add 1 minus. Suppose it is 0, am I right? When we remove H plus, we add 1 minus. 0 minus 1, how much? Minus 1. Okay, is it clear? It is minus 1 when we remove H plus. So that's we add 1 minus. Already it is minus 1. So when we add minus, what it becomes? Minus 2. SO4 minus 2. Simple. For conjugate acid, add H plus and note all the charges. And for conjugate base, remove H plus and add minus. Add minus to this compound. Is it clear, all of you? So very, very important. So next come to the present topic, Lewis acid and base. That is the third theory, am I right? Third theory. So according to Lewis, is the name of the scientist. So Lewis acid. Lewis acid. So Lewis acid means electron pair. Electron pair. Acceptor is called Lewis acid. Lewis acid. Electron pair. Pair means 2 electrons. If any component that accept 2 electrons from other compound, then we call it is Lewis acid. So now what about Lewis base? Lewis base. Lewis base. Lewis base means oppositors. Electron pair donor. Electron pair donor. Electron pair donor is called Lewis base. Lewis base. Electron pair donor. If any component donate the electron, then we call it is Lewis base. With respect to electron pair, we can define Lewis acid and Lewis base. In Arrhenius theory, that is with respect to aqueous medium, am I right? Aqueous medium. If the compound gives H plus in aqueous medium, then it is called Arrhenius acid. If the compound release OH minus ion, that is called as Arrhenius base, am I right? In Bronsted base, that is protonic theory. With respect to H plus, if any compound donate H plus, that is called as Bronsted acid. If any compound that accept H plus, then we call it as Bronsted base. Am I right? Now this is Lewis acid base. That is the third theory to explain acidic nature of the components. Okay. So that is electron pair theory. So if any compound that accept electron pair from other compounds, that means it is Lewis acid. Lewis base means that compound which donate electron pair to the other compounds, then we call it is Lewis base. Is it clear, all of you? So let's see. Let's take the example. For example, So very very important example. NH3, it is ammonia, you know. The structure of ammonia, am I right? In ammonia, it has one lone pair electron, you know, one lone pair of electron in ammonia, one lone pair. So this pair of electron is called as lone pair electron. That means it is a electron rich compound, you know, more electrons are available, 2 electrons are available, it is electron rich. Okay, in ammonia it has 2 lone pair of electrons. Actually that lone pair of electrons not participate in chemical bond. Okay, they are just exist an nitrogen atom. So these are called as lone pair electron. That means ammonia has lone pair electron that they can able to donate to others. Why? Because it has electrons. Suppose I have money, more money that I can able to donate or not? Yes. Okay. So like that, electron donor. Now it means electron donor. That means it can able to donate the electron. So now come to one more, BF3. We call it is boron trifluoride. Boron trifluoride. It is an electron deficient compound. It is a electron deficient compound. That means it need electron. That means it needs electrons to get stability. That means if it possesses 8 electron, that is octet in its outermost cell, then it becomes stable. Am I right? If any compound or atom get 8 electrons in its outermost cell, then it becomes stable. So in boron trifluoride, it is electron deficient compound. It is not a stable actually. It need electrons. So let's see. This is structure of boron trifluoride. Boron trifluoride. Okay. So now how many electrons? A bond means 2 electrons, you know. A bond means 2 electrons. In that 2 electrons, 1 electron contributed from boron, another electron contributed from fluorine. Here it is 1 electron from fluorine, 1 electron from boron. Here also same. Now totally how many electrons in BF3? 6 electrons, you know, only 6 electrons. 6 electrons only. If it is 8 electron, then this molecule becomes stable. So that means there is one empty orbital here. Empty orbital, I represent like this. There is space to get 2 electrons in boron. If it has gained 2 electrons, suppose, then it will become stable due to get 8 electrons. That means it undergoes octet configuration. Now totally how many electrons? Only 6 electrons. So there is space, there is the orbital, empty orbital to get 2 more electrons. Am I right? So now it needs 2 electrons. That is, it is searching for 2 electrons. It's seeking for 2 electrons to get stability. When here 2 electrons are available or not in ammonia. Now there is a coordination between ammonia and boron trifluoride. Okay. So now how it is? Is it clear, ma'am? Now I am going to form a bond between NH3 and boron trifluoride. Then how they are become stable? Okay. Then what kind of bond it is happened? Then which one is Lewis acid and which one is becomes Lewis base? Okay. So this one is very very important. Remember this. In boron trifluoride it has 6 electrons only. If it is with 8 electrons, then it get more stable. Okay. That means it need 2 electrons. Am I right? Okay. In ammonia it has 2 electrons as lone pair electrons. Okay. So that means it can able to donate the electron or not. Why? Because the electron rich. It is electron deficient means it can able to electron or not. It can able to accept the electrons from reaches. Okay. Now how the bond formed between ammonia and boron trifluoride? Let's see into the topic. So now this is ammonia. It has two lone pair of electrons. The structure of ammonia. Okay. Now it is interact with the boron trifluoride BF3, which has 6 electrons. So there is a one empty orbital. Now these 2 electrons donated to the boron. 2 electrons. Okay. 2 electrons. Then it gives NH3 BF3. This is the representation. Okay, NH3 BF3. Okay, is it clear? So now it is a electron pair donor, am I right? Electron pair donor. Now this one is electron pair acceptor. Now totally how many electrons are at BF3? When it is in bond with ammonia, 8 electrons are not. Why? Because you donate 2 electrons, already 6 electrons we have, totally 8 electrons. So boron trifluoride becomes stable when it is bond with ammonia. Okay. So now it is electron donor. So now come to here, Lewis base means electron pair donor. So ammonia acts as Lewis base. Why? Because it is electron pair donor. It is electron pair acceptor. Electron pair acceptor is called as Lewis acid. So now it is called as BF3 is an example for Lewis acid. Is it clear now? Okay. Now this bond is called as coordinate covalent bond. Remember this, coordinate covalent bond. Very, very important. In Lewis base, what kind of bonds are possible? Coordinate covalent bond. Okay, I will explain what is coordinate covalent bond. And another name of this bond is dative bond. What it is? Dative bond also we call it is dative bond. Okay. So actually, if ammonia and boron trifluoride can able to form the bond, this bond need 2 electrons. If you want to make the bonds in between two atoms, this is atom A and this is atom B. If you want to make a bond between these 2 atoms, we need 2 electrons. That one electron must contribute from this A, another electron contribute from this B. Now a bond made between A and B, that means a bond need 2 electrons. One electron contribute from A, another electron contribute from B actually. But this is generally covalent bond we call it is. What we call it is? Covalent. Okay. But in this case what happened? The required 2 electron for the bond formation is contributed by only one atom, one molecule here. Actually it need 2 electrons. One electron from this boron, another electron from this nitrogen actually. But what happened here? There is no electron available at boron trifluoride, am I right? So for that purpose, these nitrogen donate entire 2 electrons. Which one need to form 2 electrons in the bond, am I right? So 2 electrons contribute from one side only. 2 electrons contribute from one side, from one atom only. Actually, boron can able to donate 1 electron and nitrogen also donate 1 electron to contribute to formation of the bond. Actually here what happened? The 2 electrons can donate from nitrogen side only. The contribution from nitrogen side only, not from boron trifluoride. So such kind of bond is called as dative bond or coordinate covalent bond. Coordination. Okay, coordination covalent bond is possible. So electron pair donor is called as Lewis base and electron pair acceptor is called as Lewis acid. Now the arrow mark is from donor to acceptor like this. Okay, is it clear? More simple. So the next topic in advantages. Advantages of Lewis acid base theory. In the first point, so this theory, it can explain the acidic nature and it can explain the acidic nature of non-hydrogenated compounds. Example, boron trichloride, am I right? Is there any hydrogen? Actually, Arrhenius acid theory and Bronsted-Lowry acid base theory, if any compound can able to donate H plus, what we call it is acid. Okay, but here boron trifluoride and boron trichloride act as acidic compounds without hydrogen. There is no hydrogen. So what is the advantage of Lewis acid base theory? Even though this compound doesn't process hydrogen, but act as acidic in nature. So that is, it can explain the acidic nature of non-hydrogenated compound. There is no hydrogen, so we call it as non-hydrogenated compounds. So these are act as acids even though they didn't process hydrogen. Is it clear, ma? Next, it can explain basic nature of non-hydroxy compound. Hydroxy means OH minus, hydroxyl group we call it. If any compound having OH group, we call it is base, like simply NaOH, sodium hydroxide. It consists of OH, hydroxyl group, so it is called as base according to Arrhenius theory. Am I right? So now it can explain the basic nature of non-hydroxy compounds. That means non-hydroxy compounds act as basic, you know. So let's see the example. Regarding this NH3, am I right? It is a base. So is there any OH group? No OH group, but act as base due to lone pair. Is it clear, ma? Now NH3 is base or acid base. So on which concept? Lewis acid base theory. NaOH base or not base? On which concept? Arrhenius acid base theory. Okay. Is it clear, all of you? These are the important advantages. Okay. And one more important point here. All cations considered as a Lewis acid. It include this point also. So let's see one example. H plus, it is an electron deficient compound, you know. So there is no electrons. H means it has one electron. H plus means no electron, it lose already. So H plus, okay. H plus, is it clear? Everyone? All cations considered as a Lewis acid. If you can offer electrons, it can able to accept. The electron acceptor is called as Lewis acid. So why? Because it is electron deficient. So all cations considered as a Lewis acid. Remember this. All cations are considered as a Lewis acid. Okay. These are all cations. Cations means the ions which possess positive charges. If we can offer the electrons, they can able to accept the electrons. Why? Because electron deficient species, plus means electrons are not available in the compound. If we can offer the electrons, they can able to accept the electrons. Is it clear, ma? And the fourth point is all anions considered as considered as a Lewis base. Lewis base. So anions means they process electrons or not. Let's see, OH minus, it has electron or not, excess electron, 1 electron, and Cl minus. Okay, this process negative charge, so they can able to donate the electrons or not. Minus means electron, it can able to donate electron to the positive ions. So electron donor is called as Lewis base. So all anions considered as a Lewis base. So these are the important advantages in Lewis acid base theory. Okay. So but some disadvantages also here it has, that we call it as limitations. So can I rough this now? Is it clear, all of you? Let's see what are the limitations of Lewis acid base theory. So limitations. What are the limitations? So this theory, it cannot explain relative strength of acids and bases. So relative strength means, suppose if you consider two acids, one is acetic acid and another one is HCl. So which one is strong acid actually? HCl is strong acid. HCl is strong acid, am I right? HCl is strong acid. Where it is weak acid. Such kind of comparison is not in Lewis acid base theory. Cannot explain the relative strength of acids and bases. So now which one is strong acid, which one is weak acids, it cannot explain in this theory. So for example, in the case of NaOH, it is strong base, So what about ammonium hydroxide, NH4OH, weak base? Such kind of comparison not given in Lewis acid base theory. It cannot explain the relative strength of acid and bases. Okay, it cannot explain such kind of concepts. Okay, and come to it cannot explain acidic nature of protonic acids like HCl, H2SO4, HNO3, Okay. Actually these are all acids, am I right? These are all acidic compounds. They act as acids, but it cannot explain their acidic nature. Okay? So it cannot explain acidic nature of protonic acids. Why? Because it is a proton, am I right? H is a proton. Here it is also proton, it is also proton. They can able to donate H plus and act as an acid according to Bronsted-Lowry acid base theory. Am I right? So actually these are originally acidic in nature, but he cannot explain the acidic nature of these compounds. This is one of the important drawback of Lewis acid base theory. Is it clear, ma? And next, so in Lewis acid base theory, the formed bond is, which type of bond is formed? Coordinate covalent bond, am I right? Coordinate bond or coordinate covalent bond. Coordinate bond, simply we call it is coordinate bond. So the formation of coordination bond is very slow. Very slow. Actually, formation of coordination bond is very slow. Okay, but the coordination bond in between Lewis acid and base is very fast. Remember this point. Actually, coordination bond is a slow formation bond. It's formed very slow. Okay, but in Lewis acid base theory, there is a coordination bond between Lewis base and Lewis acid. Keep here place the bond making and BF3. Okay, this is coordinate covalent bond. Simply we call it is coordinate. So it becomes very fast formation. This bond is fast, very. Am I right? But actually, generally the coordination bond is very slow formation bond. Am I right? Very slow it forms. Okay. But in Lewis acid base theory, it is Lewis base. Am I right? This is Lewis acid. The coordination bond between Lewis base and Lewis acid is very fast. So this is also why it is. He cannot explain. So it is also one of the drawback of Lewis acid base theory. Okay. Very fast. So why it is so he cannot explain. Okay, is it clear? And the next point, very important. Next point is catalytic activity. So generally protonic acids act as catalyst in chemical reactions due to presence of H plus ion. Generally, acids act as a catalyst in the chemical reaction. Catalyst means catalyst is a substance which increase the rate of the reaction or which alter the rate of the reaction. So by adding the catalyst, increase the rate of the reaction, speed up the rate of the reaction. So generally, example H2SO4 act as a catalyst. H2SO4 as a catalyst due to H plus, am I right? Due to H plus, but Lewis acids does not have catalytic property. Why? What is the reason? Lewis acids are not act as the catalyst. Okay? Why? The Lewis acids does not process H plus. Am I right? There is no hydrogen ion in Lewis acid. Why? Example BF3 is Lewis acid. Am I right? No hydrogen, no H plus. Am I right? No H plus in BF3. No H plus in BF3. Am I right? So it is not a catalyst. Okay, so Lewis acids are not act as a catalyst. So Lewis acids cannot process catalytic activity. Is it clear? Generally, catalytic activity means acids are participating catalytic activity due to their H plus. But in Lewis acid there is no H plus, so it doesn't participate in catalytic reactions. Is it clear, all of you? This is about Lewis acid base theory, important limitations, advantages and definitions of Lewis acids and bases. Is it clear, all of you? And be active and listen carefully, okay, and make it notes and follow each and every point, then it is very useful to you, okay. And practice the beats in your material, okay. If you have any doubt, send it to me through my WhatsApp group, okay. Let's see, in Lewis acid base theory, totally how many theories we have? We are discussed Lewis acid base theory already. And also in the second theory we have Bronsted-Lowry acid base theory, am I right? And first theory is Arrhenius acid base theory. So in this theory he mentioned aqueous medium, am I right? Aqueous medium. In aqueous medium, H plus donor is called as acid, H plus acceptor is called as base. H plus donor, H plus acceptor, am I right? Is called as base. Introduce aqueous medium, remember this. And come to Bronsted-Lowry acid base theory. Arrhenius donor, H plus donor and OH minus in aqueous medium, okay. Then it is called as base. Come to Bronsted-Lowry, it is also called as protonic theory, am I right? Protonic theory. Okay, in protonic theory, no medium he mentioned, no medium, am I right? Remember this, like aqueous, no medium. So H plus donor is called acid, am I right? H plus acceptor is called base, am I right? Is it clear? So Lewis acid base theory, electron pair donor is called as Lewis base and electron pair acceptor is called as Lewis acid, am I right? Lewis acid. He also no mention about medium. Okay, is it clear? These are the three theories. Now I am going to compare these three theories. Okay, that's very, very important. Just remember this. Comparison of acid base theories. Comparison of acid base theories. So in that first theory, we compare Arrhenius acid theory and Bronsted-Lowry acid theory. In the first, we are going to compare Arrhenius acid base theory and Bronsted-Lowry acid base theory. Remember this. This theory is with respect to protons. We discuss about with respect to proton. And here in this theory, it is in aqueous medium. In aqueous medium, H plus and OH minus. Remember this. H plus is acid. If it gives OH minus, we call it is base. Am I right? Where it is Bronsted acid means H plus donor considered as acid and H plus acceptor is called base. Am I right? Is it clear? Now my first point is, can I remove this? My first point here, all Arrhenius acids also Bronsted acids. All Arrhenius acids also Bronsted acids. Let's see. That means all Arrhenius acids act as a Bronsted acid also. Both are same. Let consider an example. Arrhenius acid means if the compound give H plus in aqueous medium, then we call it is acid. Am I right? If HCl keep in water or in aqueous medium, it gives H plus, then we call it is HCl. Simply it is H plus donor or not? H plus donor. Am I right? It is Arrhenius acid means now it is Arrhenius acid. Am I right? Why? Because it gives H plus in aqueous medium. H plus in aqueous medium, H plus donor is called as acid. It is H plus donor. Am I right? H plus donor. This is H plus donor. Am I right? In aqueous medium. What about Bronsted-Lowry acid place? H plus donor is called as Bronsted acid. So now H plus donor means Bronsted acid. H plus donor is Bronsted acid. So here HCl gives H plus in aqueous medium. So it is called as Arrhenius acid. It gives H plus. So it is H plus donor and also we call it is Bronsted acid. So all Arrhenius acid also Bronsted acid. Am I right? Is all Arrhenius acids are Bronsted acids? As why? According to Arrhenius theory, the compound which gives H plus in aqueous medium is called as Arrhenius acid. Is it? Am I right? and come to Bronsted acid. The compound which donate H plus is called as Bronsted acid. So all Arrhenius acids also example for Bronsted acid. Am I right? Okay. Therefore, HCl is a Arrhenius acid and also Bronsted acid. B.A means Bronsted acid, not Ba. Bronsted acid. Is it clear, ma'am? And the next point, all Arrhenius bases may not be Bronsted bases. Okay. All Arrhenius bases may not be Bronsted bases, means different. Arrhenius base not a Bronsted base. Let's see. Example, NaOH. Keep in aqueous medium, it gives Na plus OH minus. When the compound gives add in aqueous medium, it gives OH minus ion, then it is called Arrhenius base. Am I right? Arrhenius base. Is it clear? But what about Bronsted base? Bronsted base means it adds up the H plus. If any compound adds up the H plus, then we call it is Bronsted base. So is there any possibility in NaOH accept H plus? NaOH cannot accept H plus in the above. Okay. So NaOH cannot accept H plus. Am I right? Is there any need accept of H plus NaOH? NaOH is a Arrhenius base. Am I right? Why? Because it gives OH minus. Now Arrhenius base become Bronsted base or not? No. Why? NaOH cannot accept H plus. NaOH cannot accept H plus. So all Arrhenius bases may not be Bronsted bases. Am I right? May not be Bronsted bases. That means Arrhenius acids are not a Bronsted bases. Why? Because Arrhenius base gives OH minus ion. But Bronsted base means they accept H plus. Here NaOH does not accept H plus. Am I right? There is no need of H plus accept. Am I right? So Arrhenius bases may not be Bronsted bases. Am I right? Is it clear, all of you? Bronsted base means H plus acceptor is NaOH is a Arrhenius base. Why? It gives OH minus. Am I right? Now NaOH accept H plus. Okay? No. So all Arrhenius base may not be Bronsted base. Remember this. Okay? This is the comparison in between Arrhenius and Bronsted. Okay? Direct questions in board exam and also MSET, NEET, mains. Okay? Remember this. And next comparison, Bronsted acid base theory and Lewis acid base theory. Lewis acid base theory. So tell me, what is Bronsted acid? Bronsted acid is a proton donor. Give example, HCl. It gives H plus and Cl. So it is called Bronsted acid. Am I right? What about Bronsted base? Proton acceptor. Am I right? Proton acceptor. Proton acceptor. Is it clear? Proton acceptor means Bronsted base is a proton acceptor. So example when NH3 at gain H plus, what it gives? NH4 plus proton acceptor. So we call it is Bronsted base. That means to accept the protons at least it has one lone pair or not. That means Bronsted base has a lone pair. Am I right? Lone pair. Bronsted base process lone pair. Remember this. Am I right? Bronsted base means here NH3 is the Bronsted base. It accepts the proton. Am I right? Accept the proton. Proton acceptor. Now NH3 accept the proton. So NH3 is called as Bronsted base. Bronsted bases process lone pair or not? Lone pair. Am I right? Lone pair. And come to Lewis acid. Lewis acid. What is Lewis acid? Electron pair. Electron pair acceptor. Am I right? Example BF3. Is it clear? What about Lewis base? Lewis base electron pair donor. Am I right? Electron pair donor. Example NH3. Am I right? NH3. That means Lewis base has electron pair. Am I right? Electron pair or not? Electron pair. Now my point is all Bronsted bases are Lewis bases. Lewis bases. Give me one example for Bronsted bases. Bronsted base NH3. Am I right? Bronsted base example NH3. Am I right? It process lone pair or not? It can able to donate the electron pair or not? So it can able to donate electron pair. Am I right? What is Lewis base? Electron pair donor. So example NH3. Am I right? NH3. Example Lewis base. Now NH3 able to electron pair donor or not? NH3 is electron pair donor or not? It is electron donor compound or not? It can able to donate or not? So this point is applicable to ammonia and Lewis base also. It can able to donate electron pair. Bronsted base. Am I right? Why? Because it can able to accept H plus or not? Remember Bronsted base example NH3. Why? Because it can able to accept the proton. Here NH3 is also example for Lewis base. How? It can electron pair donor is called as Lewis base. Now ammonia example for Lewis base or not? Come to your NH3. It is Bronsted base or not? Bronsted base. Why? It can accept the H plus. So now Bronsted base or Lewis base or not? So here, therefore here ammonia act as Lewis base and also Bronsted base. Is it clear? Due to electron pair. So ammonia has lone pair, so it can able to H plus. So it is called as Bronsted base. Ammonia has a lone pair, it can able to donate electron pair to others. So we call it is Lewis base. So Lewis base act as the Lewis Bronsted base. Am I right? So ammonia act as a Lewis base and also Bronsted base. So all the Bronsted bases are example for Lewis bases. Is it clear? All of you? Can I rough this? Next comparison. All Bronsted acids may not be Lewis acids. Lewis acids. So what is Bronsted acid? Bronsted acid, proton donor, am I right? Example for Bronsted acid, HCl. It is a proton donor. Proton means H plus donor. If any compound donate H plus, it can called as Bronsted acid, am I right? Bronsted acid, is it clear? That means it process, that means Bronsted acid has H plus, am I right? And come to Lewis acid. What about Lewis acid? Lewis acid means electron pair donor. That means it has lone pair, am I right? Lone pair, one lone pair, sorry. Lewis acid means electron pair acceptor, am I right? Electron pair acceptor, only electron pair acceptor, am I right? So, no need of H plus, am I right? No need of H plus, am I right? There is no hydrogen in Lewis acid, am I right? So, no need of H plus. Okay, there is no hydrogen boron trifluoride. So, all Bronsted acids may not be Lewis acid. Okay, so now HCl is only Bronsted acid, but not a Lewis acid, because no electron pair need to accept in HCl. HCl cannot accept lone pair. If it accepts lone pair, it acts as Lewis acid. There is no need of electrons in HCl, so it doesn't have Lewis acidic character, but acid. Okay, not a Lewis acid. Remember this. This is the comparison in above three theories. Okay, so very, very important. This represents electron pair, electron. It's clear, all of you? Are you following or not? The next important concept. Dissociation constant of a weak acid and weak base. Dissociation constant of a weak acid and weak base. This is the concept. Dissociation means, and also called as ionization. Remember this. Ionization. So weak acid means that is not completely ionized or not completely dissociated, not completely. If it is undergoes 100% dissociation, if you take 100 molecules are ionized as H plus and Cl minus, suppose HCl, okay, then it is called as strong one, okay, otherwise it is weak. Weak means not completely ionized. Ionized means it can split as ions. Suppose HCl. Let's see the example for it. Acetic acid. Acetic acid is ionized as CH3CO minus H plus. It is a weak acid, am I right? Why it is doesn't undergo 100% ionization? Suppose if we consider 100 molecules, only 30 molecules or 15 molecules are undergoes like this. Okay, this means ionization or dissociation. So it is a weak acid, and also we call it is weak acids means weak electrolyte also. Weak electrolyte. Already we discussed about electrolyte. Weak electrolyte. If it is 100% ionization, that is strong electrolyte. If it is less than 1, that we call it as weak electrolyte. Okay. Next about weak base. Weak base. That means not completely ionized. Not completely ionized. Example: ammonium hydroxide, NH4OH, am I right? Is reversible NH4 plus and OH minus. It is not undergoes 100% ionization. Okay, so it is called weak electrolyte. Weak electrolyte. We call it is weak base. Okay, so it is an acid. It has a equilibrium constant. Okay, students, we will meet on tomorrow with an interesting topic, and we have expert bit in JEE Mains and NEET. Okay, have a nice day. Enjoy and practice the bits.